the button!
Yeah, come on, push your button!
Blow everybody up!
Yeah, blow everybody up!
Push the goddamn button!
Push the goddamn button!
You heard what she said.
Hold on, B. We gonna get this work.
Shalom. I want to start off by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect who are continuing to fight and teach this thing of ours in truth and sincerity. I'm the brother Manatazak with GMS Ancient of Days in Los Angeles, currently teaching with the small sanctuary in Inglewood, and today through the Spirit I want to get into a lesson that's going to be a response to what the Russian allies have just came out and published, saying that they believe Russia could destroy the U.S. in under 1 hour. Okay, now that's very bold and blatant talk, especially to put that on a news outlet for the entire world to see. Okay, that's basically a declaration of war, like a threat, so to speak, because this is coming from another superpower, so to speak, these nations that have the capability of using these nuclear weapons, these nuclear missiles. Okay, now what sparked the inspiration behind this lesson is the prophetic ramifications of what was said. Okay, now this goes into Revelation, the 18th chapter, right, where it says that Babylon the Great is going to be destroyed in 1 hour. Okay, now of course Russia's going to be just one of many nations that are going to fire missiles on Babylon the Great. But just the fact that Russia's coming out saying that they have the capability to do so is interesting. Now, even though Babylon the Great is going to be completely destroyed, pursuant to prophecy, Russia is also going to be hit. Okay? And through the Spirit, I want to begin in the book of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter, which the headline reads, The Destruction of Gog. Okay? Now, Gog, Magog, the original inhabitants of that land were Japhetic people, but Esau, Edom came and took over and took on the names of those original people. So the current or modern day Gog and Magog people are the Russians. Okay, so this is a prophecy speaking against Russia. Okay, and this is Ezekiel the 38th chapter. It says, "And the word of the Lord Yahweh Shemashai came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against them." So just as we go out, us members of the hopeful elect, and prophesy against Mount Seir, against Babylon, we're also prophesying against Gog and Magog, because at the end of the day, you're both Edomite nations, and you're both going to be taken down. At the end of this Third World War, the Israelites are going to be risen up to power. Okay? Now, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal are Turkey. It's speaking about Turkey, which are allied with Russia. Okay? Verse 3, it says, "And say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shemashai power, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal." It says, "And I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords." And this is talking about the vast Russian army. I mean, look at their country. Just in a scale, their country swallows up America. Look at their armed forces and how they train. Okay? As opposed to the U.S. forces and who they allow to enlist and how they train. Our soldiers are more interested in TikTok videos and TikTok challenges, while you got the Russian army out there training in the snow and in ice cold water. Okay? They're not playing no games out there, and they can't wait to get their hands on Babylon the Great. Okay? And they're going to have their chance. But what I find interesting about this is that it says that, verse 4, and I will turn thee back and put hooks in thy jaws. The Lord is going to turn them back to that Soviet spirit, that warlike spirit. Okay? This is basically the Cuban Missile Crisis 2.0. Only this time, missiles are going to be shot. We are closer to World War III than ever before. Okay? Verse 5, it says, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Okay, these are all allies of Russia. And most of these nations I just mentioned are part of the BRICS nations, which are joined on to their new monetary system that they're trying to use to overthrow the dollar. Okay? Persia is modern-day Iran. Okay, Ethiopia is Ethiopia, of course, and Libya is North Africa. Okay? Not to mention China and Iran, who are also allied with Russia. There is no love lost between them and America. Okay? Verse 7, it says, Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company. Oh, I skipped verse 6, Salakia. I'll read verse 5 again. It says, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. So they're going to be prepared to fight alongside with Russia. Verse 6, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah and of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Okay, these are all Gomer and Togarmah are also speaking about Turkey. Okay, they're going to be prepared to fight alongside their allies. It says, verse 7, Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia's a guard unto all these nations. That's why they're looking unto Russia to lead the charge with this new monetary system to take down and combat the FRN. That's why they're speaking so boldly against the tyrannical rule of the hammer of the earth, Babylon, because they know that they have allies that are ready to jump to their aid if something were to pop off. Okay, verse 8, it says, After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste. But it is brought forth out of the nations, and they shall dwell safely, all of them. It says, Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands and many people with thee. So this is talking about the battle of Armageddon, with all these great armies and great forces coming to do battle. The battle of Armageddon in the valley of Jehoshaphat, or Yahweh-Shaphat, which means in the Hebrew, Lashwan Kodash, Yahweh's judgment, where all the nations are going to be gathered. That melting pot of armies that's going to be ripe for the picking when Yahweh Shai returns and destroys them in one fell swoop. Okay? This is the prophecy that we're living in these very days. Okay? Verse 10, it says, Thus saith the Lord power, it shall come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. And that evil thought is to fire these missiles on Babylon the Great. Okay? And we are vastly approaching that time, pursuing the prophecy. The hooks in their jaws. Okay? That evil thought. Okay, we are on the brink of World War III. Okay, and that article that I put in the post-production, just the statement from the Allies saying that they could destroy Babylon in less than an hour proves it. That's prophecy. Verse 11. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. And this is parabolic for America, because America hasn't been invaded or hasn't been touched. So they are likened unto an unwalled village. Okay? But this place is going to get touched. Okay? And it's going to be decimated, pursuing the prophecy. Verse 12, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and upon the people that are now gathered out of the nations, which have gotten cattle and goods that dwell in the midst of the land. Okay? So America, which is known for all these imports and exports, this place is going to be completely destroyed. And these other nations are going to look upon America and they're going to howl. They're going to lament and they're going to mourn, not because of the destruction that is going to be done here, but because That they can no longer get their dainties and no longer milk this place for all its resources and sustenance. They can give a damn about the people that stay in this country because it's mostly Israelites. And pursuing the Psalms 83rd chapter, most of these nations don't give a damn about Israel anyway. But they sure as hell love making money off of us and biting off our culture and being inspired by us and leeching off of our ideas and our inventions. And I mean, we are the cream of the crop even in this low estate. So how much more so when we're finally established in righteousness in the kingdom? Okay? That's enough with Russia. Let's get Revelation, the 18th chapter, which through the Spirit, Revelation 18 is going into the fall of Babylon. But before we get that, let's see. We'll get Revelation 18th chapter. The headline reads Babylon Falls. It says, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Because this place is going to be turned into the forbidden zone. All these skyscrapers and buildings and all this asphalt, this land is going to be laid flat, and it's going to be made a desert. And the only creatures that are going to be living here are those such things, desert creatures, owls, and things of not what the scriptures just explained. Okay, actual people aren't going to live here. This land isn't going to prosper. It is going to be likened unto Sodom and Gomorrah, which to this day, okay, is a desolate land full of sulfur. Okay. Verse 3, it says, For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Speaking about Babylon the Great. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. So come out of her, my people, okay, is a direct correlation to the nation of Israel. But specifically the elect. The 1/3 of Israel that's going to be delivered here from Babylon the Great before it's destroyed. Okay? And Lord willing, us doing this work in truth and sincerity are counted amongst that holy number. Because even still, 2/3 of our people here in Babylon the Great are going to be destroyed and caught in that final plague, which is nuclear fire. Okay? Verse 5, For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. So think of all the horrible and negative things that have been done while Babylon the Great has been erected. Okay? I mean, it has been built by the backs of slaves, blood, sweat, and tears of slaves. Okay? I mean, the list goes on and on and on about the different atrocities, the things that we know of. Imagine the things that we don't know of that goes on in this society. Okay? This country that is more of a prison to us Israelites. Well, this hasn't escaped Yahweh Shem Yahshai in his decree is that you do unto her double. So just imagine the type of destruction that's going to hit this place. Okay? That's why it's going to be laid flat. Okay? It says, How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And that's going into the pride of the rulers. Okay, and the scriptures say that pride goes before destruction and the haughty spirit before a fall. Well, the scriptures say that Satan is going to fall like lightning. So how much faster is this country under his rule going to fall? Well, the scriptures tell you, in 1 hour. Okay, and we're going to get that. Verse 8, it says, Therefore shall her plagues come in 1 day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power who judgeth her. Okay, continuing on, it says, And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Not for the people, but because, once again, they can no longer profit off of this place. And here's the point, verse 10, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, the mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. So these other countries, these other nations are going to be looking on, on the news or listening on the radio, from satellite, what have you, and they're going to hear the destruction of Babylon. They're going to see the destruction of Babylon. They're going to see the smoke of her burning, and it's only going to take 1 hour. And it's no coincidence all these movies are coming out. These prophetic movies, mind you, are coming out about the destruction of Babylon, because we are getting closer to that time. This is all Esau's predictive programming. Before he brings something forth, he has to show it to you. And us prophets, are bringing it out and giving you the understanding on what's about to come. That's our job as a watchman, to warn the people. But even then, even still, only 1/3 of our people are going to take heed to this very important message. Okay? I'm going to skip down to verse 17. I'll skip down to verse 16. It says, and saying, Alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. That's the illusion of Babylon the Great. That's why you got all these migrants coming over here, because they believe that this place is still littered with gold, with streets of gold, the land of opportunity, the American dream. All that's bullshit. Okay, they're coming over here to either receive salvation or judgment, because most of the people that are coming into this land are Israelites or sleeper cell soldiers that are crossing the border, getting ready for their orders. Okay, verse 17, for in 1 hour so great riches have come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? Now notice it's talking about the shipmasters and the ships. Okay, the trade ports. Once again, people that make profit off of this place. It's not talking about just your everyday average person who actually cares about Babylon the Great. Okay, motherfuckers never loved Jake, man. Not like that. They love to leech off of us. What's that old saying? Everybody wants to be an Israelite till it's time to be an Israelite, so to speak. Okay, they don't want to suffer like us and go through the things that we went through, and pursuant to the scriptures, they haven't. Because no other nation under the sun has suffered as like Jerusalem has, and we are a people before we are a place. That's why these other nations are going to go into hardcore captivity. Okay, under Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, continuing on, verse 19. And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, wherein were made, it says, wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour she is made desolate. Okay? In verse 20 it says, Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High hath avenged you on her. Okay, the holy apostles and the prophets, these are the Israelites. So the Lord is going to destroy this place for our sakes, and the Wadi Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai for that. Okay? Verse 21, And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone, and cast it into the sea, saying, Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all. Okay? America is going to be destroyed forever. And we are, Lord willing, hastening that day. Because with that day comes the return of Yahweh Shai and the deliverance of the elect. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. I want to give all glory and honor to Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect who are continuing to fight and teach this thing of ours in truth and sincerity. This has been your brother Manat Nazak, and until the next lesson, Shalom.